Do you know that the last time Arsenal played in the semi-final of the UEFA Champions League competition was in the 2008-2009 competition in a match which they lost to Manchester United? Welcome to another beautiful edition of Arsenal Fans Beat, brought to you by Arsenal Fans Globally, on a night when Arsenal were supposed to turn up, on a night when every gunner showed up at the Emirates globally, and Arsenal failed to turn up. They failed to match up the scenario they've created, having beaten 15-time UEFA Champions League winners, Real Madrid, on a night when everyone was expecting North London to row. But somehow, Arsenal fell back to that fourth-minute strike by Ousmane Dembele. That goal just shot the Emirates, and the fans could not live up to expectation. We could not hear their voice. Rather, the doubting voice of Paris Saint-Germain fans was roaring around the entire stadium. And somehow, that also helped PSG in notching niggling passes that took us to the Tartars. But the quick question here is, what are the major takeaways in this game? What actually went wrong? Why was Arsenal lethargic? Why were they pegged back? What was the thing that went wrong? Naysayers say, look, they were scared. They were not ready to play in this competition and go ahead to win it. And I refuse to accept that, because a team that obliterated Real Madrid in the first leg and second leg, and even went to play against Real Madrid in a stadium that was shut down, all with the antics of ensuring that the dowsing voice of Santiago Bernabeu fans killed the emotion and psychology for Arsenal fans, our players. But at the end of the day, they came out on scratch. If I want to look at it, I think one of the biggest shortfalls that Arsenal experienced is not playing during the weekend, especially the makeshift holiday that they had, that they couldn't play in the weekend. So they were match rusty. They look rusty, they look jaded, they look tired. I don't know. This is my opinion. So this is your opportunity for you to go to the comment section and make your views count. Let us know what your opinion is. I personally believe that Arsenal not playing over the weekend affected the players' psychology and intensity. We were playing like we already won the match. The way we came out from our blocks was just too poor. And consider the fact again that the midfield general, Thomas Partey, was absent. That also gave PSG players the opportunity to take over the entire midfield. Because the problem we had in that game against PSG is that we could not handle the midfield. Odegaard was nowhere to be found. And the player that was playing in the 8th position, talking about the special rights, Declan Rice, he was not there, because those 5 years runs that he make game after game is what gives us the edge against opponents. This is my view. So I want to hear how you feel about this game. Every Arsenal fan is bitter. We aren't smiling at this point. But it is not over until it's over. The game, I believe, is going to be a game of 2 halves. If they could come to the Emirates and dominate the Emirates, then we can go to Parc de France and dominate them in Paris. It is possible. It has to do with the mentality of the players. I spoke about the difference between the mentality that Arsenal has in Europe and in the Premier League. There are 2 different mentalities. But what they showed up against PSG is the same mentality they show up in the Premier League. They were jaded. They were lethargic. They were not moving the ball fast enough. And they played into the hand of PSG. Not to take anything away from PSG, we were lucky to have come up with just a 1-goal loss. But at the same time, in as much as we played so badly, we had scoring opportunities. That is what I always say about Arsenal. How do we nick the opportunities that come our way? We had 2 clear scoring opportunities from Martinelli and another from Trossard. We fluffed our lines. We fluffed our lines. And the question again, this is where they put the marker on Mikel Arteta. What happened? Why did you have to wait until the 95th minute or 90th minute, I beg your pardon, to play Ethan Nwaneri when Captain Fantastic was nowhere to be found? He was completely lost. The zest in which he used it, closing down goalkeepers and running runs in matches was completely gone. We didn't see him do anything. That was bad. As bad as it could be. I don't know what we're going to do because this is the only competition that we need to put our names on. The only honest thing we need to do is to go there and win qualifying for the finals. Here in the finals, anything can happen. Now, go to the comment section. Let us know what you think Arsenal should do or Miguel Arteta should do going to Parc de France next week. In my opinion, I think the return of Thomas Partey is going to create a change for us. It's going to impact on us going forward. So what we need to do is to ensure that we play the same team we played against Real Madrid. But we need to go there with intensity, with purpose, with desire to say, whatever happens, we're going to kill ourselves here on this pitch to get a victory. It's not going to be easy, especially when you're going to be playing against the rousing sound of their supporters. They came to the Emirates and doused Emirates. So when we go to France, it's going to be a different story. But the players need to live up to expectation and understand that they need to stand and be counted. Because if they lose this semi-final match, then we've lost everything. It's an awful season for us. That's my opinion. So let me know what you think about this going forward. Now, the major takeaway for me yesterday was the ability of that defense line to stand. Aside from the fact that they gave Ousmane Dembele the opportunity to shoot, I think they did every other thing right. But I also have problem with the way William Saliba is playing currently. He seems to have lost some lack of confidence going forward. He isn't the same Saliba that I know, considering the error he committed against Real Madrid at Santiago Bernabeu, and also the error he committed at the Emirates against Crystal Palace. But everything is possible. You can go back to the drawing board and look at the things that you aren't doing well and correct it. And that's what I expect from Mikel Arteta, to go back to the drawing board and talk to these boys and let them understand the enormity of their qualifying for the Champions League final. It is possible. Nothing is impossible. But it is only when you put the good work, the hard work into play that you can say you stand a chance of being counted. Paris Saint-Germain, they are also a top club side. I mentioned it before. I said, look, PSG that were defeated by 2-0 in the group stage of the competition are not the same PSG today. They've grown into momentum. They've grown into a form of desire. But it is now left for Arsenal players to go on that pitch. At 1-0, the game is still open. So let's just say, thank God, we did not concede more than one goal. The opportunity is also there for us. But I wouldn't want this game to end in a penalty shootout because I'm foreseeing a situation where Arsenal is going to score and they'll drag the match and get into a shootout. If you get into a shootout, I'm a positive thinker. I don't think we'll be able to cross if it gets into a penalty shootout. So what I need is Arsenal to go on that pitch in Parc de France and make sure they score more than a goal. They need to be solid going forward. They need to be solid defending. That is what they need. And I saw when we played against them at Emirates, we allowed a little bit of their antics to get at us and even poor officiating. We saw where Bukayo Saka had to kick the ball. These are the things that Mikel Arteta has to work on, the psychology of the players, because that was exactly what made Thomas Partey to pick up unnecessary card against Real Madrid. It was a needless card. And that was why I love what Arteta did also when he ensured that the set piece coach, when he was going to get upset, he had to push him back to the bench because we need you. We need you. to be available right there on the pitch side. So Mikel Arteta, kudos to you for that decision you took in pushing the set piece coach back to the bench, because he was almost going to react to the sideline, what's it called, referee, when Mikel pushed him back to the bench. And so that's the same thing that Arsenal players should work against, ensuring that they keep their momentum, keep their calmness, and refuse to be infuriated. Because I saw some niggling antics from PSG. They were trying to do stuff to get Arsenal players upset. And that was why when the referee, because that movement from Bukayo Saka nudging the ball away from Mendes, there was no form of foul. But nobody knows what the linesman was thinking about. He called it a foul. And Bukayo Saka, out of anger, just kicked the ball away. You don't need that. These are the little tidbits that makes you a superstar. So you just keep your calmness and focus on what you're doing, because if you had considered a yellow card and considered another one in that match, it would have been a matching order. So you would have ended up disrupting everything Arsenal would have planned in bringing up against PSG. Let us know what your views are. Let us know what your comment is with regards to the things that are brought up. And do you really think that Arsenal can go to Parc de France and beat Paris Saint-Germain? I believe it is possible. Only if we keep our mental ability in check and we take our chances. We just need to take our chances as early as they come. Because in the first 20 minutes of that game, if we don't score, there's going to be a problem. But I think it is possible, because PSG, in as much as they scored and they went to sat back, we also got opportunities. It's just that we did not take our chances. Until then, don't forget that this is the Arsenal fans beat. It is for you. It is for all of us. And it's for us to come together and let's build this community. I want to say thank you to every one of you that is taking your little time off your tight schedules to watch our videos, subscribe, and share. Don't stop doing this, because we are building a larger community together. Until then, it is come on, you Gunners.